Good morning. I'm looking down Rattlesnake Canyon into Oak Creek Canyon. And today I'd like to break here and talk an old anime about an even older anime.
Time Stranger, Go Shogun.
Did you ever wonder what happens to anime heroes after they've saved the world? The cheering dies down and they grow old and fade away. Once upon a time, back in 1981, there was a giant robot show, Go Shogun. It had 3 heroic human pilots, Remy, Keely, and Shingo. During their battle with the evil organization of Neo-Neros, 3 of the bad guys switched sides and joined the good guys. Kernigal, an artificial man, Cutnell, a pirate, and Bundle, a meditative prince type. After the great evil was thwarted, the giant robot left Earth. The show ended, and the grateful world handed out medals, which Remy, the lone female member of the team, declined. Those allies then went their separate ways. Oh, they probably still kept in touch with Christmas cards, I suppose, but they're not teammates anymore. 40 years later, Remy is now 70 years old. She's invited the other 2 original Go Shogun pilots, Keely and Shingo, to meet her at the museum. These men are still pretty good-looking for septuagenarians, no doubt making full use of the Rogaine and hair dye products of the future. Interestingly, we never get a good look at Remy's present-day face. Despite her age, Remy still drives as recklessly as ever, but this time she's not going to make her appointment. The car accident is the least of her problems. She's already dying of an incurable disease, and the doctors expect her to be dead in a few days without ever regaining consciousness. As the word goes out, Remy's other old pals rush to the hospital as well. Kernigal seems to have achieved his lifelong dream of owning a chain of fast food restaurants. Cutnell still has his crow and his addiction to downers. For some reason, the former bad guys turned allies always had more personality than the original good guys, who were pretty bland, pretty boy types. All 5 men gather again at their unconscious teammate's bedside. But this isn't predominantly a tale of a hospital waiting room. Most of Time Strangers takes place inside Remy's mind. Some of her dreams or memories of her childhood, of her mother, and how Remy came to be a scrapper. But mostly it's a strange, allegorical hallucination in which Remy and her 5 old teammates find themselves trapped in a Hotel California of an alien desert city. The god of fate has sent supernatural portents that, as in reality, declare that Remy will die in 2 days. The local believers are intent to see that Remy remains in town to meet her fate. But Remy and her friends burn and rave at close of day. Remy observes fatalistically that if she's the first to die, she won't have to watch the others die. But that doesn't mean she's just going to lie down and accept death. Though much is taken, much abides.
Remy! ここには誰もいない。俺たちの他はな。
洗礼を受けた者は必ず死ぬ。あなたは2日後。
Time Stranger is a remarkable OVA for taking characters from a giant robot show for kids and reprising it as a meditation on mortality. The present-day bedside vigil, memories of Remy's childhood, and her hallucinations all mixed together in this unusual story. Remy's hallucination starts with her wandering alone in the desert. She fires her 6-shooter into the air as a signal for help, and her 5 old companions answer her call. It provides a visualization of her fight for life as a series of conversations, omens, chases, and gunfights. The giant robot that named the show, Go Shogun, is completely absent from all this, except as a small toy hanging from the mirror of Remy's car. Remy seems to have had a lonely life. The locket she wears around her neck still doesn't have a new picture in it. When the TV show began, we learned her old boyfriend had already died. Both Shingo and Keely express regret that they never sought a serious romantic relationship with her beyond the flirtation of the TV series. Both men bear the wistful regret that their best days are now behind them. In recent years, Remy's been somewhat of a recluse. The art of Time Stranger is rather simple, as was the TV shows that succeeded it. The future is barren and antiseptic. The external culture of Remy's nightmare city seems borrowed from the Middle Eastern Islam for some reason. The animation is generally economical. For such an imaginative story concept, the art seems somewhat plain, and it definitely looks dated today. It's directed by Kunihiko Yuyama, who also directed Minky Momo, Windaria, and the second Orange Road movie. You don't have to be familiar with much of Ghost Shogun to appreciate Time Stranger. It's sufficient to know that its 6 characters were once heroic allies, and this is about what happens after that glory fades. Time Stranger does all this without forgetting the characters' original cartoonish quirks. In 1985, Time Stranger was one of the very early OVAs, and as such, it had a mindshare of that decade's American anime fans, most of whom had never seen Ghost Shogun as a TV series. It was never as popular with U.S. fans as other anime at the time, such as Megazone 2-3 or Vampire Hunter D. It was also one of the earlier shows licensed for U.S. release on VHS tape and later DVD. Its rather mundane struggle with an ordinary death can't really be appreciated until you or someone you love has been connected to a bunch of tubes in a hospital bed. Time Stranger certainly isn't for everyone, and it's not likely to appeal to today's younger anime fans in America. Still, despite the aging animation, I give it 4 stars, partly on the strength of its story and Remy's character, and partly on the simple audacity of what it tries to do. I actually thought it improved with age, my age. Time Stranger is 90 minutes long and was available in the U.S. with subtitles from USMC. By the way, the original Ghost Shogun TV series from 1981 was combined with a Sarungo anime to create the American cartoon series Macron 1. That's also available on VHS. I do not recommend Macron 1.
Thanks for watching. Now you can go reread Tennyson's Ulysses.